Welcome. So, in this series of videos, we're exploring the use of a sidechained gate and then its effect on a number of samples. These samples, these loops essentially, are either 1 bar, 2 bar, and so on. The first few videos looked at drums and percussion type ideas. So the way this process works is that I've got a channel with a kick drum on it, which is here, and a MIDI pattern for that channel. Let me put in some other, let me take those off. I'll put one double one at the end there just to make it feel like it's different. So you have that MIDI pattern that triggers here. You can see it's triggering, but we don't want to hear it. That's basically it. So just like all kinds of side chains, if you create a separate kind of kick part for side chaining that you don't want to hear, then that's what we have in this example. And then this is connected to the side chain for the gate, as you can see that here, one impulse, which is this one here. And we don't really hear anything at the moment because obviously the loop isn't running. And what we need to do is to move around with the threshold. It's got a little bit more like a kind of a played bass. Let me take the gate off. So it's still a 2-bar pattern. It's got some interesting kind of little artifacts, little vibratos at the end. So because it's quite a busy performance and we've got quite a boring rhythm that's being played at the moment, you sort of need to find where you think is the kind of the sweet spot for the threshold and the return, and possibly with the release. When you have the release up all the way, you can hear everything comes through, all of the signal. But we might not like the sort of the abrupt cutoff. So that might be the one. And likewise with the floor, as we increase the floor, more of the sample comes through. So that might be sufficient. But what's kind of required here is that we sort of make some adaptations. So maybe something like that. Now, the difficulty with me just playing that stuff to you is that it's always good to hear it in context. So I've got another kick drum here, and this one's doing 4 to the floor. Without the gate, this is what it sounds like. Putting the gate back in, and you can, if you listen carefully, you can hear a little quite quiet echo. So again, we might take the floor down. And that pretty much deals with that bit of it. It's a bit like bleed through from headphones and so on. What I also have is this percussion part here. So maybe we don't want the bass on the downbeat. Back on the downbeat. Off the... Let's tighten it up a bit. move this along. Got a little bit of a click in this section in the first bar. You just hear the click around here. Let's see how we might get rid of that one. Maybe a bit more release. It's still there, so maybe it's an attack. No, it's still there. Not too bad. Yeah, it's still there, isn't it? Yeah, it's the little sort of electro tom on this percussion part. So the combination of the two things together make it appear like there's a click on the bass file. So there you go. Now we can just move things around and enjoy it, knowing that it's not this technique that is the issue. It's actually something else, which will, again, if you needed to solve a problem like that, you could actually just go into the audio file and kind of dip that little section. You can see how much this increases by amplitude, the click that's just here when it happens, right? So that kind of digital distortion. So you could do that. You could bring that down a bit. We could probably also minimize its effects by using a sidechain compressor this time to just duck it for us whenever the bass is playing as well. So that's kind of a solution. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed that. See you next time.